take over the world in Super Pony Conquest 7. Super Tank Conquest 7. I don't play Super Pony Conquest. Who would do that?
Ah, you want to take over the world? Well, I could tell you about history.
Okay, I don't know a lot about history, but I do know no one has ever achieved world domination.
Well, no single person or country for that matter has ever achieved world domination. A civilization has.
I don't follow. What's the difference?
Well, a civilization must have a stable food supply, a system of government, a very developed culture, written language, religious beliefs, a social structure, and scientific advancements. These are the 7 characteristics of a civilization. And if all of these 7 characteristics are met by any single group of people, then it's a civilization. One such civilization was a vast empire that expanded across the entire continent. One fateful day, it collapsed into many different nations. Yet these nations were still united under the 7 characteristics of civilization, meaning that despite being ruled by different governments and different individuals, they were still a civilization. These countries then went on to conquer every single continent in the world.
Whoa, what civilization is this?
It's just European imperialism.
That's not as interesting.
Oh, but don't worry, it'll get interesting. You see, our story starts with Christopher Columbus.
Oh, I know this story. Everyone else who thought the earth was flat, but Columbus discovered it was round, and in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. And instead of going to Asia like he thought, he discovered a new continent. 2, actually.
Nice job. That was kind of close, but not really. You see, what really happened was people had known that the earth was round for 1,000 years at that point. The ancient Greeks discovered it. And because of this knowledge, Columbus figured that rather than having to sail all the way around Africa to get to valuable trade routes in India, he could just sail around the world. So, that's what he did in 1492. He sailed across the ocean blue, as you said, and landed in America. But he didn't realize it was America because he thought it was India. But he had never been to India before, so he didn't really know the difference. Later, Amerigo Vespucci landed in America. And he had been to India, and he knew what it looked like, and figured out that America was a new continent, a continent that they named after him, Amerigo America.
Why did they name it after his first name and not his last?
Well, historians don't quite know. But if you ask for my personal opinion, I'm kind of glad I don't have to live in the United States of Vespuccia, on the continent of North Vespucci, right above South Vespucci.
Yeah.
Anyways, after his grand discovery of the continent that he didn't know existed, Columbus sailed the ocean blue right back to Spain and told the king of what he had found. The king was very impressed by this, and later this started his conquest of North America with conquistadors and that stuff.
You're telling me he wanted to conquer the place because Columbus found gold, pineapples, and slaves?
It does seem like not that much of a big deal today. But in 1492, these things were a lot more important than you might realize. Let's start with the gold. You see, back in 1492, there wasn't really a lot of gold in Europe. Kings had to hold on to what they had. And the discovery of gold in the Americas was huge. It would have been a huge deal. Even if there wasn't really as much as a lot of people thought, there was still way more than was in Europe.
Okay, I know gold's super valuable even today, but pineapples, really?
Okay, pineapples weren't a deciding factor in conquering the New World. But pineapples didn't exist in Europe before they were discovered in the New World. And for a while, they were super valuable for that reason, since the only way to get them was ship them across the ocean. However, today they're much cheaper.
Okay, so gold and pineapples were very valuable back then. But what about slaves?
Well, you see, Columbus and other people that went to the Americas discovered that, get this, they weren't Christian. Like, who could have foreseen this? It's almost as if they lived on another continent where Christianity didn't have the chance to spread to. The Europeans figured that they would have to be the ones to spread it to the Americas. Sure, the natives actually weren't that wild about it, even if they didn't realize. But they thought they were doing everyone a favor by teaching them the good news of Jesus Christ. But I'm sure they'll be fine once they realize that they weren't that wild about it. I mean, the Spanish have always been nice to people who had slightly different religions than them. They won't mind. Also, there is one more thing I'd like to talk about, though. This is Spain. And this is Spain compared to my home state of Illinois. Despite being a country, it's only a bit bigger. And then, this is Spain compared to the entirety of the New World.
Wow, that's such a big difference. I can't wait for the conquistadors. Aw, really? It's a 5-hour flight. I think you have time.